Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So I saw something pretty interesting earlier today on Instagram, and that was that I believe the reporter, his name was Zach Harper, actually reported that the Miami Heat are not going to trade Tyler Herro unless they end up getting a guy like Giannis or Bradley Beal via trade, right, man? So for this video, I really want to talk about Tyler Herro, what my expectations are for him as a player, kind of like if I would do any of these trades, if I would keep him around the Miami Heat, because I know Heat fans absolutely love this kid, and I definitely don't blame you. Like, seriously, every single time I watched him in the bubble, and every single time I saw that the Miami Heat were down, I was like, that 20-year-old kid right there, he's about to hit 1, 2, maybe even 3 clutch-ass shots and bring the team back, man. And he did it every single time. It was like, without fail, I mean, maybe not so much of the NBA Finals, but leading up to that point, the kid was absolutely clutch. I mean, my mind was absolutely blown just about like some of the things he was doing out there and looking like a real veteran. I'm sure if you were a big-time Miami Heat fan, you were probably like, well, Crispy, he was doing this stuff all season. It's just that, you know, all you guys that wasn't watching our team out here the entire time, you didn't really recognize him, man. So on the NBA season, Tyler Herro did average about 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists per game. Shot 43% field goal percentage and about 39% from 3. So obviously that 3-point shot is the big time factor because we're going to more of a league where, you know, you either drive it to the basket or you shoot 3-pointers. If you don't do either one of those, man, well, then you're kind of not really helping out your team all that much unless you can do some other things out there, man. But really just like his ability to get to the basket, like that was, I knew the jump shot was there. Like watching him play, I was like, that jump shot is absolutely filthy. I knew that, but then just like some of the moves he was doing to get to the basket, just some of the dribble moves in general, and then even at times where they were running him at point guard, I was like, damn, this kid is absolutely the real deal. And as a sad Detroit Piston fan, you know, I can admit this now, man, I was thinking like, he's kind of what I was hoping Luke Kennard would become for this team, but obviously, you know, that's, I mean, Luke Kennard's a fine player, but Tyler Herro looks like an actual future all-star and stuff like that, right, man? But in all reality, where do I see him as? Like, what is the future for Tyler Herro? Well, being 20 years of age, I feel like that's gonna be like the new like Jason Tatum thing. Like he's only 20 years old or something like that. You know what I'm saying, man? But no, straight up when it comes to Tyler Herro, he's only 20 years of age. Not only was he in the NBA Finals, which is just like an amazing experience that's going to carry him throughout his entire NBA career, but also he was clutch in the playoffs. So it's like you have that like that's experience that some players either never experience, or you just expect it out of the veteran guys that have played in the NBA for so long, they finally get their chance to show up, and it's like, okay, well, it's a veteran player doing those plays out there, so it's completely fine, right, man? And that's kind of how I feel about Tyler Herro, where it's just like he is a 30-year-old veteran in a 20-year-old's body, man, which is absolutely crazy, right? So I was watching a video the other day, and I believe in the video, the player comparison that they gave to Tyler Herro was Devin Booker. And I was watching him play, and I was like, you know what? That's actually not a bad comparison. That's not to disrespect Devin Booker, because Devin Booker is an absolutely phenomenal talent for the Phoenix Suns. That's more so just like the style and the type of player that Tyler Herro can become. And then at that point, it's like, you know, the thing about Devin Booker is that he is on a Phoenix Suns team where it's completely built around him. But can you imagine, like, if Devin Booker was on that Heat team with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler above him and stuff like that? Like, can you imagine just how much his game would excel? So the Heat, they already have the guys that are the main dudes in Bam and Jimmy. And now they got this third kid out here that's absolutely balling out. They are in such a great circumstance, man. So the trades that I was seeing that were offered up, well, obviously, you know, based off this report from, what was his name, Zach Harper or something like that. Okay, I guess we'll start with this one right here. Would I do a trade of Tyler Herro for Bradley Beal? And honestly speaking, that's a really tough one. Because, like, okay, because I guess your assumption would be the trade would have to be quite a few pieces. And so let's assume it's Tyler Herro for Bradley Beal straight up, man. Let's say they can figure out salary, you know, toss in Andre Iguodala, who's like 97 years old. Would that be able to work? Man, I don't know if I would do it. I still don't know if I would do it, because the fact of the matter is that, you know, Bradley Beal is putting up 30 points on a team that was essentially the worst defensive team and just a very bad team in general. So you look at that, like you have to factor that stuff in. Like, you gotta look at some of these other players that are on these great teams that are, you know, the third, fourth option. It's like, well, how will they do in that situation? You know, how will Tyler Herro do in Bradley Beal's situation? Probably not a 30-point per game scorer, because, like I said, he's only 20 years of age. He was a rookie and everything, right, man? But I mean, okay, so let's say you put Bradley Beal on the Miami Heat. Would he be able to fit into that more limited role? I mean, obviously it's kind of, you know, I do think it would be a good fit. Like, don't get me wrong, Bradley Beal's fantastic. He should have been on the All-Star team. He's like the first like 30-point per game scorer that's not made the All-Star team in a very, very long time, right, man? So obviously Bradley Beal would fit, but then you think about like the future and kind of like what you want your team to be. And I'm just like, would I rather have this guy that's only 20, still on his rookie contract for the next few seasons, sky the absolute limit, the ability to have this other cap space, you know, to sign other guys and build around this guy that's already good? Or do I want to take on the guy that's like, what, like a super, is he on a supermax contract, I believe? I believe Bradley Beal's on a supermax contract. Would I rather take him on, you know, so that I got Beal, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and no money to really afford anybody else? And I'm just like, what Tyler Herro brings to the table, I think is already good enough and is already a perfect fit for the team. And I feel like, you know, via free agency or trades, they will still have the cap space to trade for other guys. You know, maybe fill out that 4 spot, because Jay Crowder, for me at times, well, I don't know, man, Jay Crowder was very interesting. Like, he was a good spot-up three-point shooter at times, but also he just kind of struggled and choked to the point where it's like, I don't know if I want him as my starter. Like, Jay can be on the team. I don't know if I want him as my starting power forward, though. So all of a sudden, you know, you keep Tyler Herro, you have cap space free up to, you know, really work on that position. Maybe like a Danilo Gallinari, somebody like that. Maybe you go as far as being able to put some sort of trade package together for like a Chris Paul, and you still got Tyler Herro on the team, and all of a sudden you're going into the season with, you know, CP3, Herro, Jimmy Butler, insert power forward, and Bam Adebayo. Hell yeah, man. Like, that team could potentially be getting back to the NBA Finals like that. And don't say they can't, man, because straight up, you know, it's the Miami Heat. Nobody really counted them getting to the Finals in the first place. So now that they actually been there, you can't count them out next season, right? It's the same thing with the Toronto Raptors. You know, every single season, it seems like the Raptors gets disrespected, even after they, you know, won the NBA Finals, despite losing Kawhi Leonard, which is big time. But still, the Raptors, you know, went on like a 19-game win streak or something like that. So, yeah, I guess I don't think I would do a trade for Bradley Beal. Now, Giannis is a different story. Giannis is very interesting because obviously to get Giannis on the Miami Heat, it's not going to be a matter of just Tyler Herro. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, it's just such like a touchy subject, because if Giannis gets traded to the Miami Heat, you would have to assume that he agreed to that, and that means he wants to play there, right? Yeah, that would mean he wants to play there. So what I'm actually afraid the Miami Heat could do in this circumstance, especially when it comes to trading Tyler Herro and a lot of the pieces, it would take a lot of pieces. Okay, it would take a lot of pieces to get Giannis on that team. I would be afraid they would pull like a Carmelo Anthony to the Knicks. Do you guys remember when Melo was traded? I think it was around the trade deadline to the New York Knicks, and they literally gutted the entire roster. Like, that Knicks team, obviously it wasn't the greatest. I mean, they were still like in a rebuild and stuff like that. They had like Danilo Gallinari, Raymond Felton, players like that. I mean, Gallo was looking like a promising player and everything, right? I think he had a few injury issues, which he still does to this day. But yeah, they essentially, it was just Melo and nobody else. Where they could have just waited. They could have just waited because Melo was already linked to the Knicks. And if they would have just waited, they would have got that man on the team and they would have been completely fine, right? Like, they would have had all these pieces already. They would have had the team built and you just earned some Melo. Bam, good to go, right? 50-win team probably. So it's the same circumstance with Giannis. Like, if Giannis is already linked to the Miami Heat, if he gets traded there, it means he's probably agreed to it, talking to the GM of the Milwaukee Bucks. So then it just comes down to a matter of like, okay, do you just wait a season? Because obviously a guy like Jimmy Butler is, I don't really want to say Jimmy Butler's old, but, you know, I do think that Jimmy's game is not going to age all that well, especially offensively. I think the defense is going to be there for a very long time. The playmaking abilities, the rebounding, the grit and grind. But, you know, so it's like if you just wait a season, then Tyler Herro is going to be 21. You know, you got Bam Adebayo. I don't know how old he is. He's probably, like 22, 23. He'll be extremely young. Jimmy Butler would be okay being that second or third option at that time. And then bam, you insert, bam, no pun intended, you insert Giannis in that line if you're good to go, as opposed to you trade Tyler Herro. You have to trade away. I heard they probably will not trade away Bam, but who knows? You know, it's Giannis, 2-time MVP. I've seen crazier things happen. I don't think they would trade away Jimmy Butler, so they would need to give up something, though. It's like you can't just do Tyler Herro for Giannis straight up. Like, that would not happen in a billion years. Nothing against Tyler Herro, just how it is when it comes to basketball, right, man? So, Giannis, I would just wait. The Heat are already proven that they could beat that team. And I know Giannis was injured, but still, I mean, that the team was still looking fantastic against Giannis regardless, right? I still think they would have won that series. So, I don't know, man. I think Tyler Herro, to me, his ceiling is a Devin Booker type of scorer. I think he's a guy that can maybe even because there's obviously things that Devin Booker does better, but I do think Tyler Herro overall is a better three-point shooter. Like Devin Booker has always appeared to be as like this great three-point shooter. Let me look up his stats real quick here, man. just to like see what his official numbers are. By the way, I hope you guys like these videos. This is kind of fun, kind of enjoying this. So yeah, Devin Booker this previous season, he did shoot, 27 points per game, 7 assists, obviously a fantastic playmaker. 3-point shot, 35%. Season before it was 32%. Season before it was 38%. So he can kind of be hit or miss with it. But I do think Tyler Herro is going to be a good, consistent 3-point shooter his entire career. So maybe not the volume scorer that Devin Booker is, because that's the thing, man. 27 points, that's crazy. Like, this guy keeps on getting better and better, right? But no, man, I think straight up, I would keep Tyler Herro. I mean, when you go to the NBA draft, when you draft players, you're hoping you nail it, and they nail it with Devin or with Tyler Herro. So why trade a guy like that away? Why trade a guy like that away who could be as good as a Bradley Beal eventually for a whole lot less money early on, and we have the ability to not have to trade any pieces to get those guys, man? I don't know. I just don't think a team that was in the NBA Finals, losing Goran Dragic and Bam Adebayo for quite a few games. Goran Dragic was a big reason they got there. Losing guys like that. I mean, I'm not saying they would have beat the Lakers by any stretch of imagination. That Lakers team was looking phenomenal. But I do think that I wouldn't do that big of a shakeup. They have so many young guys on the Heat team, I would just run it back. And Tyler Herro, I think, needs to be a part of that, guys. Y'all let me know in the comment section below, though, man. Do you think Tyler Herro should be traded away? Or do you think, well, who knows, man? Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't know if this is going on the main channel or the second channel. Let me know if I should do more of this. And peace out.